Welcome to the Starting Over podcast. I am your host, Edward Shelton, aka Dark Logos. And this is the show where we look at the strategy and tactics of the game of heroclix. Yay, 'tis the season for me to sing, and then probably terrorize everyone that was around you. Yeah. We're going to have a very interesting show today. It's a sponsored show. So there you go. You too can sponsor a show by, leaving donation for Starting Over Podcast at startingoverpodcast@gmail.com. No, sorry, not that. At startingoverpodcast.blogspot.com. I hate to say it, the blog is just there pretty much now for donation purposes. Oh yeah. We have a sort of a quick two-parter, and a little bit of it is a public service announcement, and a little bit is the main content. Let's go into the public service announcement first. 'Tis the season to spend your ducats on heroclix, but be leery if you are a major competitor that starting in February. Oh man, it's going to be a rough ride, and you might be saying like, well, Dark Logos, like what's going on? Well, we're going to have Deadpool in February. I think we're going to have Turtles in March, Guardians of the Galaxy in May, and then in June we're going to have, like, I think it's the Defenders versus Avengers OP kit. So February, March, April, May, June, 5 months straight of something coming out every month. So right there, you probably want to watch your ducats. Yeah, you really, really do. And that's not including any little side jank that's probably going to be coming. Okay, so again, we got Deadpool. Oh yeah, and I forgot the Elseworld stuff starts in June too. So the What If and the Elseworld stuff. So yeah, like next year is going to be epic. At the same time, like just be mindful. Don't go broke over this stuff. Really, really don't. They're cramming a lot of product down our throats, and you don't have to take it. You don't have to take it. So anyway, I know someone's probably making some like throat joke right now. So props to you, sir. Props to you. Today's show, like I said, it's a sponsored show, and it's sponsored by Mr. Jacob Payne, a longtime listener of the show, and also my coworker. And we're going to talk about ATAs, and Jake was asking like, hey, it would be a good idea to do a show. Well, he wasn't asking, he was just saying it would be a good idea to do a show on what are the good ATAs right now. And I know that other shows have looked at ATAs, and I've heard their commentary, and I don't have too many disagreements. What I'm more going to be looking at is this ATA in general viable? I'm not looking to see if you can like super pimp it out, but I'm just looking, to see if it's viable. Now, there are some of them that like, yeah, you could pimp it out pretty hard if you so choose. That's on you. So I'll say that. But at the other end of it, I do think there are some interesting ATAs for us to just be mindful of, for us to use. Okay. Now, most of this, like I said, is pretty much it's my opinion, but also I think that we'll come in and we'll dig up some cool nuggets. All right, so let's first start off with the first TA. All right, now I'm going to be skipping down the list. I'm starting at the top and then going all the way down. And you might be saying, "Oh, well, duh," but there's a specific reason for this, just so that you can sort of follow along real easily. Whichever like little thing you're looking at, ATAs and stuff. Now, I will make a little comment about Serpent Society. With the new batch of Serpent Society figures, they just pretty much took the Serpent Society ATA and just smacked it onto them. So that sort of shows that the ATAs aren't dead. It's just whiz kids, whiz kids. All right, so let's start off with the first one, Guardians of the Galaxy number 11. Now, this is the classic Guardians of the Galaxy ATA, and we had the Guardians of the Galaxy OP kit, and we're also going to be getting more Guardians of the Galaxy with the Guardians of the Galaxy movie set that will be releasing. So we're going to be getting more of these. So that's a good thing. Now, if you look at approved play right now, you can use it on Agent Venom, Star-Lord, Gamora, Drax, Kitty Pryde, Yellow Jacket number 7 from Age of Ultron storyline. So those are some ones that are recently. You can do Rocket and Groot if you so choose. And in all honesty, Rocket and Groot really sort of need it. Because you want to make sure that that dial doesn't go down fast. Just saying. All right, so I like that. You're pretty much giving your characters fortitude for less points than fortitude was, just because they are Guardians of the Galaxy. So definitely check that one out. Next up is Amazons. Now, some of you might be saying, like, Amazons, what the heck? Why is Amazons on the list? Well, bear with me. Let's read over Amazons, will you? All right, so Amazon says, whenever a character using this team ability takes 2 or more damage from an opposing attack, put a Sisterhood token on this card. Before being given a non-free action, again, like any sort of cool power action stuff, a friendly character using this team ability may remove any number of Sisterhood tokens from this card. Modify that character's speed, attack, or range value, and so you have to pick one, by +1 for each token removed until the action is resolved. Now, just think of like all the cool, figures that you have that are Amazons, or better yet, think of all the cool Wonder Womans that you have that are Amazons, and the types of teams that you put them on, and then think to yourself, how much cooler would it be with the charge that I'm doing to have +1 more movement or +1 more attack? Things like that. I know a lot of people will be like, but Dark Logos, why wouldn't I just use, the Justice League TA or something else like that? Well, again, it's tailored to the team that you're building. So let's look at some characters that could be a little bit abusive with this, ATA. Superman and Wonder Woman duo, if you can get it. I mean, I'm not gonna hate on you, but like literally, if you can get it, props to you. Then we also have the Wonder Woman prize support D002. That would give her a nice little boost, but you're most likely not going to play her, and you're not going to play Grace from Joker's Wild, because no one plays Grace. No one. Like I said, no one. Okay. So what you're really starting to look at is like not Dawn of Justice. Yeah, Dawn of Justice, Wonder Woman number 03, the Fast Forces from the Superman, Wonder Woman. Sorry, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. So many colon cleansers right now. You're looking at that. I like the 03 rookie because you put that little stat bump on him, and now Wonder Woman's 11 attack, 3 damage for like 80 points potentially, if you could get that in. Now, I know some of you saying like, hey, but Dark Logos, I gotta get hit, and I'm like, yeah, but you can get a medic too. I'm just saying. Also, World's Finest Supergirl. If you want to play her at high points, then it would be a really good idea to use this ATA over. I mean, if you know you need a certain type of map where you're going to go up and down elevation, then this is better than Kryptonian. Anyway, so when you go Superman Wonder Woman set, of course, there's the flat Amazon, no pun intended. Then there is, I call her the God of War Wonder Woman. Now, the God of War Wonder Woman, this one, yeah, that'll make somebody's day hurt, and you're able to pretty much keep a high attack throughout the whole entire affair. You could also use it on what was it? Yeah, I skipped over. I forgot Chase Wonder Woman from World's Finest, but you really don't need it on her. Just maybe on the movement a little bit. Yeah, really on the movement a little bit, but most of the time you're going to be dead. But Chase Red Sun Wonder Woman really gets a lot out of this ATA because she's not getting anything out of Red Sun keyword or deity. So Amazon, I mean, that helps her. She's got knocked off hypersonic speed. She's on charge now. She needs some additional movement. So that's what I feel is really useful. All right. Now let's keep on trucking. All right. Now you're going to be hearing my mouse click a lot because I'm on Realms and I have to have two windows open. One window has the ATAs in there and I can click it and like just read it, and the other one has the ATAs listed, but I click it to bring up the figures that I wanted to talk about. Yep, so there you go. That makes perfect sense because I did prep. I did prep. Believe it or not, I did put in work this time. So there you go. All right, so let's keep going. Now, Atlantis, we're going to see this just in general because we're seeing more Atlantis figures coming out. But it pretty much says whenever a character using this team ability occupies water terrain, modify its defense value by +1 against ranged combat attacks. Now, this is nice because it allows you to get in Atlantis map and then be like, ha ha, check it out, I'm harder hit for 2 more points. Which is nice, okay, considering all the other bonuses that certain characters are giving to Atlantis figures. But realistically, if you're going Swarm, this ATA can add up real fast. So you got to start asking yourself some questions, which I think is the legitimate question right now. Is an ATA worth an ID card? And in some cases, yes. And depending on your venue or what you're trying to do, yeah, it's worth more than an ID card. It's just finding that balance of, okay, I'd rather have break-in case of emergency Nightwing ID card or Nick Fury level 7 ID card, stuff like that. All right. Now we're going to keep on going. Now this next one is more of a shocker. And I know, and this one, it's way more relevant now than it has been in the last couple of years. And I really do think this next TA is important. And it's New Mutants. And it says whenever a character using this team ability would be dealt damage, you may give an action token to an adjacent friendly character using this team ability. If you do, deal all the damage to that character instead. Now, why is this awesome? Now, you have 2 keywords that you can use. You have Generation X, okay, and then you have New Mutants. Now, the New Mutants end of it, yeah, it's not as great in general, minus one thing. Wolfsbane. Like giving the damage to Wolfsbane, yeah, if you're able to get her on her top part of her dial instead of like the freaking weirdo clicks, it's great because Wolfsbane, if she gets attacked again, she just has a chance of just being like, yeah, I don't die. I really don't die. She has a chance to die, but she really doesn't die. I'm just being honest. Professor X, the prize support, 50-point Professor X, you could keep him alive real easily with that. Uh, so, yeah. There you go. But for modern age right now, you're just looking at like Cannonball Cable, Wolfsbane, and in all honesty, you're not using Cable. You're most likely using Wolfsbane. Wolfsbane, Professor X, from the New Mutant side, and from the Generation X side. Let's see, Emma Frost. Emma Frost is the only one that you could really use. Which, I mean, she's from Uncanny X-Men. You have Colossus, the Chase Colossus, which, in all honesty, I wouldn't want to be pumping damage into him. I would, like, sacrifice Wolfsbane to take the damage for Colossus. But the Emma Frost is I wouldn't say a game changer, because she's really not. She creates a situation where if you're going into a Golden Age event, there's some really good characters that you can dump, the damage to. Now, I also want to point out a couple other things. All right, this team ability is copyable. Straight up gangster copyable. All right. So when we start going again, looking back at this keyword again, sort of reassessing, like this Colossus is a lot better because he has the armor keyword. Okay. So with the armor keyword, he could just find if he can find an armor wild card that's worth just dumping damage into, he can do it. For the New Mutant side, when we go back and we look at Wolfsbane, Wolfsbane has animal as her generic keyword. Uncanny X-Men Warpath, that's not happening. And Professor X, he doesn't have any generic keywords. So what you're really looking at is Wolfsbane. Using Wolfsbane in this capacity so that you can have a wild card main attacker. Let's just say Spider-Man right now, because he's the hot wild card attacker. And Wolfsbane is technically the bodyguard for Spider-Man. And Precision Strike doesn't do jack. Like, it just doesn't. Oh, my opponent is, going to do damage to me? Okay, cool. They're going to have to pulse wave you. And that's the cool thing about the ability. Now note, this also kicks in on the dealt damage phase. Okay? This kicks in on the dealt damage phase. So if you have a character like Super Senses, like Spider-Man, then all of a sudden this team ability works a lot better. It's just a lot better. But like I said, again, the key element here is that you need somebody with a generic keyword. And I know Spider-Man is not an animal. I know that. I just know that. I'm making it clear before the comment goes down. It's like, Dark Logo said Spider-Man, and Spider-Man's not an animal. And I'm like, okay, I fully admit Spider-Man is not an animal. Maybe if he, I can't even say if he took the mutagen. Just forget it. You just find a good wild card with the generic keyword, and then you're better to go. Not good to go, just better to go. All right, let's keep on going down the line. Oh, also side note, if you were able to do a Welcome to the Legion type thing with Wolfsbane, or some sort of I adopt a keyword, then yeah. Oh gosh, that whole entire affair gets a lot more stupider. Yes, and in proper English for the win. All right, next up is the Justice League Silver ATA. And I like this one because you're able to modify your attack against a particular figure or someone using the possessing. Now, you have to remember it's possessing chosen team ability. So they have to have it printed on their dial. So you can't be like, hey, guy, you were using that ATA. Everybody with that ATA, I'm going after you. It's like, no. Or if you have a wild card on your team and your opponent uses it and they're like, hey, guy, you're copying X-Men, so I get a bonus against you. And it's like, no, it's possess, not can use. All right, so let's just go ahead and move on down the line. So we're going to look at Kryptonian. Now, I didn't want to be like, oh, Kryptonian's bad because these situations, blah, 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 blah. But Kryptonian is not a bad keyword, and there's a ton of Kryptonians. Like, I don't even want to go through the list of Kryptonians that you can just use with this. And it says keywords. When this character using this team ability occupy the highest level of clear outdoor terrain and is not adjacent to blocking or hindering terrain, modify their attack values by +1. Now, here is that last part, not adjacent to blocking or hindering terrain. A lot of people don't remember that part. They just pick the outdoor map in which they can just like, oh, I got +1 stats, blah, 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 blah. And then they'll just running shot next to hindering terrain. And you don't think to yourself like, hey, you don't get your bonus anymore. Like, there's some nuance with this. They just don't have like a flat +1, which is how a lot of people play it. Okay, so you have to be mindful, like with Kryptonian, like, hey, you can be on the highest level of elevation. If there's only one elevation, you're on the highest level of elevation. Cool. Okay, next is like you can't be adjacent to blocking or hindering terrain. That includes barrier or smoke cloud. Okay, so that's a key thing as well. All right, so it's not a bad TA. It's not a bad TA. So, but yeah, I think that a lot of people let too much slide with Kryptonian because they don't read it. Okay, next up is Legion Lost. You have to have the Legion Superheroes keyword or Legion of Supervillains keyword, one of the two. Once at the beginning of the game, if no character on your force possesses a team ability that isn't a wild card team ability, choose any 1DC ability other than an additional team ability. So you can't pick an ATA. A wild card team ability, okay, or a team ability that can't be used by wild cards, i.e., quintessence. Characters using this team ability are not wild cards and can use, they don't possess it, the chosen team ability if they can't already. So you have to have a situation again where you're a little bit gimped. You get a little bit shot in the foot with the team ability aspect. But then you're no longer a wild card. You're blank. You're this awesomeness. Now, this team ability was a lot better before the ATA changes, where they required you to have theme to use ATAs instead of just flat being able to use ATAs, which was 99.9% better. But I won't lie, it got abused. It really did get abused. It made the game a little ridiculous. Take that back, a lot ridiculous, because doing the Quarry that first season, if you go back and listen to it, you'll hear a lot of like me getting on people for not just slapping in an ATA for whatever reason, and just pointing out how much having one ATA makes those teams like infinitely better. So yeah, like that's an issue. The other thing about this team ability is in all honesty, you got to ask yourself, how many Legion of superhero characters are you going to be playing? And right now, there's not that many. There's really not that many. Now you could say, well, what about Legion of supervillains? Well, we'll touch on that a little bit. But when it comes to Legion of superheroes, not Legion of supervillains, we really in modern age only have Jimmy Olsen, Lana Lang, Superboy, but no one's playing that. He doesn't even work well with this. He doesn't even work with this team ability. And we have Supergirl, again, doesn't work with this team ability. Which, in all honesty, why are we getting so many like versions of Supergirl? Oh well, whatever. But yeah, anyway, we also have XS. XS sort of gets a benefit from it, but no one plays XS because she's just a mediocre speedster attacker slash taxi slash propper. Like no one plays her. She doesn't really have a role in the meta. Tornado Twins, no one's paying 115 points for that hot mess. Okay, no one. So right there, problems. But look at this. Like let's legitimately look at this. We have Jimmy Olsen, who can be put on a Metropolis team or a reporter team. We have Lana Lang, who can be put on a Metropolis or reporter team as well. Okay, so there's different uses for them, and you can play Jimmy Olsen at low points, and on a reporter team that could be really good. That could be really good because like sort of going back, like oh hey, we want to get Batman TA or something cool going. Okay. Or we want Mystics, and I'm on a reporter theme team, then yeah, hey, Spider-Man, yeah. So I like that. There's some modern uses, and you're paying 4 points to pretty much just pick whatever TA at the beginning of the game that you want. Okay, that's a printed TA. So I think there's some uses there. And also, you look at it like this, too. How can I put it? In the case of Jimmy Olsen, you're not paying for Legion of Superheroes team ability. Okay? You're not paying for that team ability. Same with Lana. Okay? I mean, same with Lana Lang. Since you're not paying for that team ability, this is super discounted in your cost of the figure. Okay, because people forget like ATAs 9 times out of 10 are based off of replacing printed team abilities or adding on to printed team abilities. Okay. So when you look at that, that oh hey, you're Jimmy Olsen. He doesn't have to do that. He doesn't, you're not paying for a wild card because oh my gosh, if he was 25 points in a wild card, everybody would be playing Jimmy Olsen. But the fact you could play, slap 4 more points on him, and then oh hey, cool, check this out. Now I'm able to do some cool jank. So yeah, like he's going to be good for the reporter theme teams, and so will Lana. Even though like I think Lana on her low end is cheaper. No, hold on, wait. Yes, Lana's cheaper. She's 20 points, but nobody wants Empower. Nobody wants that. Like, really? Like, anyway. So, going on. Yakety smackety, all the other good jazz. We're going to look at Phantom Zone. Now, you're going to be like, oh my gosh. Why? All Are you making some sort of weird bet dark logos? And I'm like, yeah, sort of am. I'm saying this one just like I said. It's more of like, that might actually come up here. And hey, look, there hasn't been anyone with the Fam Zone keyword since Superman set. Okay, all right, but I'm making a side bet. I'm thinking that it might come back because of the movies. So we'll see with the Justice League thing. I don't know if because they're teasing about Darkseid, and if Darkseid comes out of the Phantom Zone or he uses the Phantom Zone to come through, that would be pretty cool. But I think they sort of hint to the Phantom Zone. So anyway, once per game, characters using this team ability, when they would take 4 more damage from an attack, you may roll a d6. On a result 4 through 6, ignore the damage dealt and place this character in your starting area. Really good team ability. Really, really like it because it pretty much gives you technically a second impervious. So I like it. Now again, is this going to be used anytime soon? No, this is just me sort of saying like, hey, buddy, maybe we could see it here. Maybe, so that is just a gamble. Otherwise, it's just a dead TA. Like Hulkbusters, hulked out heroes, and Intelligentsia. Like they're dead. We're not getting more of those. Marvel Knights, ATA. Just use it. It just gives you stealth. Okay. If I shouldn't have to explain to you why that's good. Okay. The hand. If you haven't heard my rant previously on how good League of Assassins is, it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. So yeah, League of Assassins in the hand equal Killing Ninjas. Good time. There we go. All right, next up is Guardians of the Galaxy Silver Age. Now you might be saying I'm giving Guardians of the Galaxy way too much love. This team ability sucks. But I really want to say, like, wait. It's 1 point. It's 1 point. Okay? So it's 1 point. Characters using this team ability are wild cards, but don't possess any other team abilities. Uncopyable. So this is useful. This is useful if you're playing a Guardian of the Galaxy character on a team using, one of their generic keywords or using one of their other keywords. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, hey, this is pretty good. I can be this or that. Or I could copy, Mystics now. Okay, or I could copy Batman. Okay, so this is not a bad TA, considering that functionally, if they don't have any other team abilities printed, you paid 1 point to be a wild card. 1 point. Okay, so let me sort of drive this home. All right, boop. All right, so I'm gonna click this and then go here. All right, Agent Venom, no TA. Star-Lord, no TA. Gamora, no TA. Drax, no TA. Rocket Raccoon, no TA. Now, I want you to take a moment and imagine that you are playing, let's just say for right now, for giggles, Star-Lord. You pay 1 point, and he's 80 points now. And he's on a soldier theme team. Yeah, like right there. He's on a soldier theme team. And, okay, for some reason, you're able to get Avengers Initiative TA Captain America on your team. How much better did this guy become? like a lot, like stupid level better. Now, the problem that I do have with this is when you are merging some of these characters onto other teams, unless you are like super tight for points and it's like, oh yeah, I only have 1 point left, and let me do this. You're bound to put an ATA on another figure. So, I mean, is this a high up on the priority? No, but it being 1 point is a huge deal. Huge. So, yeah. Yep. Uh, Gosh, I missed them. Okay, so that's a Sesame Street reference. They used to have these aliens, and all they would do was yep, and they were hilarious. Next up is the Order. The Order, in my opinion, is a very interesting TA. Sadly, this isn't like Rock or Worlds level, unless there's some sort of like magical one of these powers that's just dominating, that allows you to like attack multiple people or whatever. Then the Order will be the freaking first thing everybody's going to turn to. Okay, but the Order says characters using this team ability cannot be targeted by an opposing character using one of the listed powers if any character using this team ability was already hit by an opposing character using that power. Okay, so you have to hit somebody with the Order team ability with one of these powers, and then you pretty much are immune to the rest of these powers. So again, it's a little it's a little weird because it just says you can't be targeted by an opposing character using one of the listed powers. Okay, so that includes hypersonic speed, charge, running shot, blades, flurry, incapacitate, psychic blast, range combat expert, exploit weakness, close combat expert. So pretty much you're hitting people with a vanilla attack or just duo attack. That's the only other advantage that I can see like coming out of this is having a duo and duo attacking people. Now, is this team ability the best thing since sliced bread? No, it is straight up not. I'm not going to front on that. Is this a lot more viable than some people might give off? And I'm like, yeah, about cup half full. Cup half full. I think that in a local meta, or until somebody becomes stupid with one of these powers, not necessarily charged with a hypersonic speed or running shot, because we see that all the time. But if there's like some sort of magical blades, claws, fangs, or incapacitate that comes out, then yeah, the Order might actually become something useful again. All right, next up is Avengers Heroic Age. It's 2 points. When characters using this team ability is given a move action after action is resolved, roll a d6 that can't be re-rolled. On roll of 6, remove an action token from that character. And it's just purely great with Ant-Man's. I mean, that's just true. It's just really good with Ant-Man's. So I don't really know what else to say other than if you're playing Ant-Man's and you have some extra points, think about it. Just take a good moment and think about it. I'm not telling you that you have to. I'm not telling you that you have to, but I am telling you to think about it. All right, so let's keep going. The next team ability that we're going to be looking at is FF. Now, I know it's the Future Foundation one, and I know there aren't a lot of good modern age Future Foundation, Fantastic Four, because of freaking Marvel being a dick. I mean, that's really what it is. Being petty. Yeah, being petty. So, anyway, why are we looking at this key team ability? So, it says, when a character using this team ability KOs an opposing character, that character may heal any character using this team ability one click. Now, if you look at a couple of characters that we can use, okay, so we have prize support She-Hulk, which is not bad. She's 7 clicks deep. You have Age of Ultron, storyline OP Kit, She-Hulk. You have number 24 Ant-Man, and you have Black Panther. The try not to cry. All right, you got Black Panther, but pretty much you could get a little bit of healing off. You know, it's not crazy good, but you know, a little healing here and there with the She-Hulk is not bad. Oh man, I just triggered myself. I just triggered myself. All right, let's just keep going. Next up is Secret Avengers. Characters using the same ability can't be a target of an opponent's outwit or perplex unless they've been targeted with an attack previously in the same turn. Now, targeted and hit are two different things. As long as you've been targeted with an attack, that's great. But it does mean you can't use like energy explosion to like, hey, I targeted you with energy explosion and the splash damage should allow me to target all the guys adjacent to you. It doesn't work like that. But it creates a situation where you not only, you know, could possibly not be outwitted, but also not be, you know, perplexed. So that's really good. Definitely, it's a team ability that has helped individuals win major tournaments and a world championship. So yay. All right, my next keyword on the chopping block is, I mean, not keyword, team ability. I keep looking where it says keywords required, is animal. Animal is a really big deal now since we have Ninja Turtles. Okay. And I really want to emphasize that Ninja Turtles has changed the game, and has made this actually like this team ability like mandatory. And you might say like, wow, mandatory Dark Logos? Is it really that deep? And I would say it's pretty close. It's pretty close. And here's why. It says at the beginning of your turn, roll a d6 on a result of 5 through 6, all friendly characters using this team ability ignore shape change and stealth this turn. So if you have an animal keyword that has any sort of range, yay, ignoring stealth is great. Ignoring shape change, of how much shape change has entered into the meta, it's ridiculous. When the Wrath Relic retires, we're in trouble. Like we're in a lot of trouble. Okay. And I don't even want to look at the characters that have traded shape change. I know I get in this mode a couple episodes, but you know, we gotta look at this modern age, and then we're just going to type in shape change, and then I want us to look at shape change on the first click, not anywhere on the dial, on the first click only. Okay. And just look. Just look. This is not the traded shape change characters. This is just shape change on the first click. Just look at that. Just look at that. And you're going to see a lot of characters. A lot of characters. And some of you might say, like, hey, Dark Logos, some of these characters I wouldn't really use. That's fine. That's fine. I understand that, man. I straight get it. I'm down with how you're feeling. Okay. But realistically, some of these suckers are scary. Like realistically scary. Okay, so here's a prime example. All right. You look at boom, 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 Shazam chase. Kingdom Come Shazam starts with shape change. Just right there. Brutal starts with shape change. Okay? Like Vartox gets shape change, even though not that many people play Vartox. Eclipso starts with shape change, giving whoever he darn well pleased shape change. Batman, Superman robot, first click, shape change. Fast Forces Johnny Quick, shape change. Let's see who else here. Nobody plays Magenta. So sad. My friend was like, Magenta, she's so good. I was like, no, man, I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry. I feel for you that you believe that lie of the devil. Okay, Spider-Punk. Here's another one. Spider-Punk starts off with shape change. Okay, so there's a lot of good figures with shape change starting off because shape change is the new super senses because WizKids realize how they jacked up by creating Precision Strike. Like, Precision Strike needs to be nerfed. It shouldn't give a minimum 1 damage. What it should do is ignore evasion. Just flat ignore evasion. Okay? Because Psychic Blast doesn't allow you to just... It allows you to ignore damage reduction, and that's it. You know, they let Precision Strike just do too much, but anyway, back on track. So you can see how the animal keyword is pretty useful if you can get your roll. So it's a 1 in 3 chance to have that. I know a lot of people don't like that, but still, it's a good thing. Justice League Dark. I like it because it says, and it's 2 points per character. It says when characters using this team ability is adjacent to a friendly character using this team ability, opposing characters modify their range values by -2, if not already modified by this effect. This creates a situation where people can't depend on their range as much, and 7 ranges turn to 5. And you have to look at where the meta is right now with the readjusting of ranges, that this team ability is actually really strong. The problem is most of the Justice League, characters that you really want to use with this ATA don't have freaking just basic Justice League. Oops, sorry, I think I clicked the wrong thing. Never mind. They don't have the Justice League keyword, which is so dumb. That's just dumb. They just need to errata it to say Justice League or Justice League Dark, or just to say Justice League Dark. But Justice League does give you some options where you can start making people have problems with the use of this team ability, because you just bring them in. And I really want you to understand how strong this is. Mitzelplick has a range of 9 for his pulse wave, so he can do 5. If you're using this team ability, for him to even initiate the team ability, he has to be within 3 squares. That's a lot more range that he has to cover. Okay? That's a lot. It's a lot of range for him to cover. So, I think that this does a lot of good in the current meta, since, again, people were freaking out about Bizarro Green Arrow, and the fact that range is too powerful in this game, and the developers have had things in there to sort of like massage you towards thinking about anti-range, but everybody's like, funk that jazz. And I did say funk, F-O-N-K, that jazz. That's something we used to say in middle school. And we keep ignoring these things. So Justice League Dark, everybody, Justice League Dark. All right, Justice League New 52. When a character using this team ability is adjacent to a friendly character using leadership, add 1 to the result of the die roll, maximum 6, if not already modified by this effect. Yeah, you gotta remember that last part. So you only really get a +1. So it's good if you can get 2 Justice League characters. You don't really need more than 2. So again, look at your generic keywords and other stuff that you can, multiple affiliations and whatnot. All right, so let's skip down to Arkham Asylum because this is actually relevant considering how many Arkham Asylum characters we've gotten recently. Arkham Asylum, it's a rolly power. It's a rolly TA. You got to roll to get what you need. You don't always get what you want, but, you get what you need sometimes. Like, I can't even say the full song, okay? So, how's this playing out? Well, let's read it. It says, at the beginning of your turn, roll a d6 for all friendly characters using this team ability. Those characters can use the indicated power until your next turn. Uncopyable, so you can't have the wonkiness of people, using this that shouldn't be using this. But it's 4 points. It's little expensive. Little expensive. Now, here's where I'm looking at. Now, you get the fast forces of Batman and his greatest foes. And where is it? I think it's like Mr. Freeze. The Riddler. I think it was the Riddler. Just getting the Riddler in a position for riddle me this, riddle me that. When the Riddler is attacked, choose a number from 1 through 6 of the character's chosen number appear. No, I guess that's not it. I guess I was thinking of something else. Okay, never mind. Never mind. So, yeah. Anyway, sort of going back. There's a bunch of characters that you can use some of the benefits from, but plasticity, leap, climb, phasing, teleport. Phasing, teleport is really the better one. Plasticity has its uses now, but it's not the best, quote unquote. But there are some cool characters that you can, you're going to see it being used on, and the biggest one that I feel that it's going to be used on, and then everybody's going to be like, well, ha, 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 isn't that funny? See what I did there? See what I did there? Yeah. Ha, 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 Joker. Because, first off, you have this guy that his primary purpose is to tie people up. Next, he doesn't have a lot of damage output. Okay. Third is if you're able to get him, next to somebody and they can't get away, then that means that your opponent has to invest a lot of time attacking Ha-Ha Joker. Okay. Now, the problem comes in is that this only works on a Gotham City team. And that's just the realistic problem. That part I don't like. Because the Arkham Asylum team, we're already seeing like, nah, man, that ain't happening. That is not happening. Okay, so that's number 60 Joker. Now, if we look at Lamp Joker could potentially be more dangerous. And I say potentially. And here's why. He has access to Injustice League in Gotham City Underworld. Now, in Justice League, right now, you gotta be a meta wizard. You really have to be a meta wizard because for this brief period of time, Injustice League has access to Amazo, President Lex Luthor, Captain Cold, Sinestro, prize support, Lex Luthor prize support, and then, Sinestro prize support's not that bad, but he's expensive. Lex Luthor prize support, again, not that bad, but he's expensive. Merlin, Magical Wonder Time, but we already know you want League of Assassins ATA on Merlin. You don't want to not have that. Like, you cannot be in a position where you do not have League of Assassins on Merlin, okay? Then you have Major Force, Metallo, Lex Luthor and Joker duo, which Lex Luthor and Joker duo, okay, I would play him at 75 points. Yeah, I would just play him at 75 points. You have 200-point Lex, which you're not playing a 300-point game at that stage, So, the more you look at it, you have to really go down to like some characters that you may not want to play or you're not thinking about playing. For example, Bizarro at 100 points, so he's your flying taxi, but he's not moving that far with the 8 movement. Mirror Master, and having a bunch of like Mirror Master little janky little dudes all over the place, and I hate that. Freaking hate that. So bad. Oh. So bad, I hate that. Anyway, Captain Boomerang, Dr. Alchemy, like Weather Wizard. Weather Wizard is actually like your saving grace. Like he really is, because you actually get another decent attacker, and you have a taxi for your Joker. Okay. Oh wow, Magenta. Wait, who would have thought? Like I crapped on her before. There she goes. All right, so there's Magenta, and too bad the Legion of Doom Fast Forces are retired, and no one plays Gorilla Grodd because reasons. But I did at Origins. I think it was Gen Con. Origins or Gen Con, one of the two. Played them and did well. But you can start to see the problems that's coming up with the Injustice League ATA. Injustice League keyword. So again, is this going to be like making waves that never die? No, it's not. But it is going to be useful for those creative, hey, you need to play a villain team, sort of situations. Or hey guys, play a theme team and it's 1,000 points. Now if it's 1,000 points, then yeah, like that Injustice League, that will put in work. That will straight put in work because you have enough muscle pieces, which they really didn't have historically. They had a lot of punk pieces, but now they have some really good muscle pieces. All right. Next up. GCPD. Now, this team ability has been used to great effect in the past, and it's been nerfed. But I do think one of the greatest things about this team ability is that it's really easy to find, either a Gotham City wild or it would be easier to find a Gotham City wild card or a police wild card. It's just finding a character that you want to work with that has both. So that's about it. Anyway, the team ability says at the beginning of your turn, characters using this team ability that have no action tokens may be given a move action as a free action with a speed value of 4. Now, that does not count for sidestep. Does not count for sidestep. Okay. So you can, if you have sidestep and, a wild card, to use this team ability, you could go boom, move 4, and then sidestep, and you would cover 6 squares which would be pretty much a running shot. Now, I don't know if it got errated so it could not be copied. I don't remember. So I'll take some stuff back. Because I know what George did. Broke it so bad with Luther. But if you can't copy it anymore, let me know. Because I forgot. Because I knew there was some drama about the ATA and it got nerfed somehow. Okay, Red Hood and the Outlaws. Why this team ability? First off, it is by far probably one of the most abusable team abilities I've talked about. First off, it says opposing characters with the highest point value on their force can't draw lines of fire to characters using this team ability. So if you have to, like, let's just say this. Every character on your field is the same point cost because you're dumb and you're running a multiple man army or something. What am I saying? Multiple man armies are awesome! They're awesome! So awesome! Anyway, let's just say you're just running, the Nick Fury. So your opponent's running the Nick Fury train. Just nothing but Nick Furies. Okay, boom. You have this Red Hood and the Outlaws ATA. None of the Nick Furies can target you. And because they don't have movement attack, they can't. They have to slowly roll up on you. So right there, not only this is like an anti-range piece, team ability. It also creates a situation where it applies to multiple figures, not just one figure. The problem is the Outlaws keyword is, again, very rare and almost dead. As soon as Coriander retires, and I think there's a Sandman, that's it. And since it's not copyable, there's no way to make it like a live on through wildcards. So, yeah. All right, next up is Defenders. Characters using this team ability may replace their attack value with the unmodified attack value of an adjacent friendly character using the team ability. So you pretty much have the Defenders team ability where you're sharing defense, but now you're also sharing attack, which makes this really strong because what functionally you're getting is Batman, Enemy, and JSA put together on most Defenders teams because the majority of them have the Defenders TA. So I like this. I really do. And considering that we're going to have Avengers versus Defenders war set crap coming out because all the good guys have to fight because there's no interesting supervillains because Marvel is holding off on how they're going to brand the supervillains for the freaking movies, so all of them are on freeze because we know supervillains don't do anything without a movie deal. So mad right now. Anyway, so if you look at this, overall, this team ability in the modern meta is really flexible. Really flexible in how you're going to use it. And there's a lot of great characters that I feel that can use this ATA really well. So let's take a moment and look at that, okay? First off, we have Hulk and Red She-Hulk. Now they can help you out your team in a multitude of ways by sharing attack. But you have to have it, have to have that figure. And at 300 points, I can understand, like, you have to have a huge point game. All right. Then you have the prize support Doctor Strange at 150 points. Now, some people would say, hey, Dark Logos, you skipped over the D20 Doctor Strange. And really, D20 Doctor Strange, you really want to run a Midnight Suns. You don't want to run the Defenders. So if you look at him, why am I bringing him up? Well, protective auras. Give Doctor Strange a free action and choose one of the following. shape change, toughness, or modify defense values by +1. So you're modifying defense values by +1, and then you're hopefully going to be, adjacent to characters that are going to have defend, or the defender's TA. So they're going to be helping each other out. So you have Goliath, who has an 18 defense. You have Namor. Actually, no. Namor does not have the TA. I know some of them. Yep, here we go. Iceman. Iceman has Uncanny X-Men Iceman, or Icebox Iceman. He has the ability to, really benefit because, hey, check this out. Like, here's the Defender's TA. It's printed on him, and he has the Defender's keyword. So he's able to, copy attack values. Now, again, this is a copyable TA, so wild cards are really good with this. Because you can, in particular, I think the king of this is Iceman, because now if you need to heal, you can X-Men heal, do that, plus then, make an attack if you need to. Then you can go at the end of the turn, use defenders or whatever. There's a lot of stuff, and you can also copy the ATA when you're making your attack if you need to use, Iceman's 11 attack, for example. So, like, Iceman actually might be the king of this one, because he has a lot of other team abilities that could be useful, and he has some good keywords for wild cards to use. Good keywords so that he can get wild cards in there. So he's Champions, Defenders, X Factor, and X-Men. So there's bound to be some wild cards in X-Men. Champions is a little sparse, so. But X Factor should have. Never mind. I'm gonna let that die. I'm gonna roll on. So anyway, I like it. Yeah, I like it. I think probably Iceman's gonna be the main one that you're gonna see with it. Next up is Heroes for Hire. At the beginning of the game, place a number of hire tokens on this card equal to the number of characters using this team ability. Once per turn, you may remove a hire token from this card, and one character using this team ability may make one close or range combat attack as a free action. Then it got errata, and then it says, at the beginning of the game, place a number of hire tokens on this card to the number of characters using this team ability. Once per turn, you may remove a hire token from this card, and one character using this team ability may make one close or range combat attack as a free action. Uncopyable. Okay. If you didn't know what Heroes for Hire did, it won a world championship by itself back in the day. And again, before the grand, ATA erratas. And I don't think people understand. Also, I think it's before damage depletion modifier too. So, yeah, people don't understand how important damage depletion modifier was and how the ATA changes actually balanced out a lot of stuff in heroclix, because if we didn't have it, we couldn't have some other figures we have now. All right, Midnight Suns. If you don't know what Midnight Suns does, read it, and if you don't get the full tactical implications of it, I know this is very lazy of me. Go listen to Critical Clicks if you are over 18, or if you're 16 to 17, listen with your parents. If you're younger than 16, do not go listen to Critical Clicks. I really do mean that. Don't listen to that show if you're a minor. It's not, and it's a show not targeted for minors. I'm not hating on Kevin and Scott, people. The show's just not for minors. So don't say I didn't warn anybody. Please say anyway. Next up is Sinister 12, which says it's 4 points each. When you have more characters on the map than each opponent, that part I don't really like, but it is set up for, battle royales or multiplayer events. Modify the attack value of each character using this team ability by +1. So this can get you this can get you stacked real quick. You're going to get a +1 to your attack, and then not including the fact that you're most likely sharing attacks. So like this can be really good. Now, here's the thing that I look at. Okay, how are you going to combine, your Sinister Syndicate person with some other keyword so that you can like just spam pogs or something like that? Like, you can figure that out, let me know, because I really want to see how that will work. I don't care what type of pogs you're spewing out either, so it doesn't have to be Ant-Man, like 6 degrees of separation from Ant-Man. All right, so then you have Spider Family ATA. This is great. I like this one. Characters using this team ability possess a Spider-Man team ability if they don't already, and may use a Spider-Man team ability to copy the team abilities of opposing characters as if they were friendly. Uncopyable. I love that. Because you could just, it's not limiting you to just copying Mystics or PD or Avengers TA. You can copy their ATAs if they're copyable and just be like, screw you, buddy. I'm going to go and do this. You have this advantage with your TAs. Now I have this advantage with this TA. So I love that. I love that. We used this one at Rocktober on a teammates team. So I like it. All right. So it sucks that like Fearsome 5 dead, Gen 13 dead, Nowhere dead, New Teen Titans dead for now, Prime Titans dead, Ravengers dead for now, Villains for Hire. Villains for Hire is dead. It's a good TA, but it's functionally dead. So that leads us to robots. When two friendly characters that can use this team ability are adjacent to each other, choose one of them to use Perplex until your next turn, but it may only target characters with the robot keyword. A character may only use this team ability once per turn. I like this. I really, really like this. Just giving you Perplex. Now, the issue some people might say is, if you're running a robot theme team, since it is generic, and you're getting a couple of robots together, is this really worth it? And, it definitely on a larger, team, you're starting looking at 20-something points, you could just put in a Perplexer. And I would say it would depend on the synergy of the team and how bad you need that Perplex that way. My philosophy in this case is if you spent over 24 points on this, being able to do this Perplex thing, you may want to just look at a standard Perplexer. Now, I know some people might say, but Dark Logos, you'll get multiple Perplexes. I'm fully aware of that. But I just think some of the limitations with it make it just as much of a disadvantage as an advantage. So let's just keep it real simple. All right. So we'll have 2 pairs. So that's going to cost us 16 points. That's going to give us 2 Perplexes that we can use in that turn. Okay. And we'll pick one of those, of course, one of those characters can use Perplex. And so now, for 16 points, I have 2 Perplexes that I can really only use on characters with the robot keyword. Okay, so if I'm playing against an opponent and they're running Batman, Superman robot with Justin Zephyr, yay. But if they're running Jakeem Thunder, you see? So how that affects my opponent is too wildly scaled. Okay, the odds are more likely that this Perplex will not affect my opponent. than it is to affect my opponent. All right, the next thing that comes in is when you perplex up your own stats, you need to be adjacent to another character using this team ability with the robot keyword. And so that limits your formations. But other than that, if you're not dealing with a situation where you're really mobile, this is not bad. If you're using Supreme Intelligence or something like that, because I think Supreme Intelligence is a robot. Yeah, I think he is a robot. Then this works out. Let me verify that Supreme Intelligence thing really fast. Because my instinct says, yeah, because I've seen him teamed up with Justin. But just because you see something doesn't mean that it's true. I've been a little bit more leery lately. I've been trying to up my journalistic integrity just a little bit. Nope, yep, I was right. Supreme Intelligence, he is a robot. He does have a robot keyword, so you could use Supreme Intelligence. All right, let's keep on going down. And again, I hate looking at this list of ATAs because the more you go down, the more you see like this is like the island of misfit toys. Like you just can't use any of these. Like they suck. So anyway, going on, X-Men Utopia. The single highest point character using this team ability can use leadership, but only to remove action tokens from an adjacent friendly character that's using this team ability. If that highest point character is named Cyclops or Professor X, and they use this leadership and succeed, remove another action token from an adjacent friendly character that can use this team ability. I just like it because it can allow you to just take tokens off team bases. I just like that. So anyway, it's I take that back. No, you still have to have the normal rules. I take that back. I apologize. It allows you to get a character that's pushed back into the game and assign leadership to a character on your force that wouldn't have it. So you're paying for leadership, and people don't understand. Leadership is a very expensive power. It's really expensive. More expensive than it should be. It should be cheaper than Outwit and Prob, but it's not. Because for this game, gaining actions is really powerful. And then also removing action tokens is really powerful now. But when you start looking at things as they're put together, you can start to notice some cool stuff. First off, yeah, you could have a team base with X-Men Utopia just to take off tokens off of the rest of the team. The other thing that you can end up, looking at is that how are you going to integrate Professor X or Cyclops into this, and then you can remove another action token from an adjacent friendly character that can use the team ability. So you're able to remove 2 action tokens. So doing double power actions, if you have X-Men that can use double power actions using the team ability, is worth it. So I like it. I just flat out like it. Now, here's something else that I find interesting. You could pay the 3 points just to get leadership. You won't be able to remove action tokens. But if you are that desperate for a chance to get an additional action and you have an X-Men, paying 3 points for leadership is not bad. All right. Let's move on. Next up is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Give a character using his team ability a power action. Place that character into a square within 6 squares of line of fire that is adjacent to a higher point friendly character using this team ability and an opposing character. Then make a close attack. So yeah, that just happened. Pretty much telepunch. I like that for 5 points. I really, really like that. Uh, it allows you, it allows you to make a couple of the shield figures melee figures when they weren't melee figures before. And it gives them some flexibility to like get out of dodge, if they really need to. So I like it. I think it has potential. Then there's Bioden's Beard. Uh, I like this. Now, first off, it requires you to be an Asgardian and 100 points or more, which is fine because half the time you're just going to put this on a Thor. Okay. At the beginning of your turn, roll a d6 using this team ability. Those characters, for all characters using this team ability, those characters can use the indicated powers until your next turn, uncopyable. So you roll a 4, you get Outwit, 5 Perplex, 6 Prob. Okay, so this is great. All right, now here's the cool thing. It does not say that this can't be probbed. So, yeah. So there's that. Now some people might say, hey, this is just a game effect. You can't target prob with a game effect. And I'm like, okay. So I'll let it slide either way. All right, next up is Civil War TA. Now it's expensive. It's really expensive, and I recommend that you put it on Avengers when they're on other teams, not necessarily on an Avengers team, because it's not worth it on an Avengers team. Okay, so here's why I'm bringing this up. The first is Captain America option is not bad because you're paying 5 points to be able to use sidestep on your first click. So that allows you to get into position. Okay, it also allows you to have a little bit more reach that your opponent is not expecting and allows them to, misplace for an alpha strike. Real easy. Next, if you choose Iron Man, you can just jack up so many people. Now, I want to make a point, and this is something that's really important. This is not a tournament-long effect with your selection. If you see, I need to be able to make sure these people don't run away, then picking Iron Man in that game would be best. But if you come back and say, I need to be able to have a lot more mobility to catch, so-and-so figure, then the Captain America option would be a lot better. Also, if let's just say your Quinjet pilot is like not an Avenger, and you just want to say he's a shield guy, but I really want that sidestep, but I feel like this guy's the best pilot, or this girl's the best pilot. You could play, I take that back, because you couldn't. Yeah, you could. You could do a shield team, and then you could use the Avengers TA, Civil War TA, on the Quinjet. So that's there too. So again, it's expensive, I understand, but you really, 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 really don't want to spend. You don't want to use it unless you're spending on like 1 to 2 figures. Oh man, I know, long show, like it's long for me. All right, we're close to the end. Next up is Diplomatic Immunity. You just have to have the ruler keyword. At the beginning of the game, place an immunity token on the card for card of one character with the highest point value of those using the team ability. When a character with the immunity token is within 8 squares of an opposing character starting area and is dealt damage. Now you have to be on a hyper aggressive team. Again, because you have to be within 8 squares of your opponent's starting area. It may be given an action to remove an immunity token from its card and ignore the damage dealt. Okay, it just doesn't ignore Pulse Wave, but still. When a character with the immunity token on its card is KO'd, You may place the immunity token on the card of a remaining character on your force that is the highest point character that can use the team ability. 5 points. At most, you want 2 rulers. Other than that, I really only see you using it for the 1. Just being aggressive, being on top of your opponent, and then just being like, go please waste that 5 damage attack on my guy right now. All right, next up is Uncanny. And you got to the X-Force keyword, and this is why I like this. I love this TA. I think this is one of the best TAs that they made. Because of what you could potentially do with this. It says, when building your force, this character has the New Mutants and X-Men keyword. So you can add characters to these New Mutants and X-Men lineups that you wouldn't have been able to do before. Okay. A character using this team ability can use Sidestep and can use Improved Movement, ignores characters while using Sidestep if it's within 4 squares of a friendly character named Cable, Psylocke, Storm, or Wolverine. Really reasonable. You're paying 5 points to gain a keyword, which there are tons of characters off of those 2 lineups that buff characters with that keyword. Okay. Then on top of that, you're getting Sidestep, and then you get Improved Movement, ignores characters when you're using Sidestep only if you're within 4 squares of Cable, Psylocke, Storm, or Wolverine. Like, if you're playing a New Mutants team or an X-Men team, and you need like a certain, X-Force person, but they don't have a keyword, this is what you need. This is what you need. More so X-Men than New Mutants. Because again, the New Mutants ATA we already talked to you about, like, that's way better. So yeah, good stuff. All right. All my teammates are useless. You need a Legion of Doom keyword. At the beginning of your turn, if a character using this team ability is adjacent to a lower point character that can use this team ability, you may choose to modify a combat value other than damage on that lower point character by -2. And until your next turn, modify the same value on this character by +2. So yeah, this is perfect for like your big, huge hitters. For your Legion of Doom. In particular, your Brainiac Skull Ship, giving it a +2 attack when you have some characters on your force that, just might be used as support, and they're just chilling there. A +2 defense, movement, range, or attack. All of those stats are worth it for technically 8 points. I look at that as like a super perplex. So yeah, like if you have I think it's like does President Luther have it? Because President Luther would be the prime example of a figure in which you want to use this. All right, so we're getting a little closer. Yeah, all right, here we go. Brainiac Skull Ship. No, President Luther is not on the list. He is not on the list. That would have been great if he was. Yeah. All right, so we have like Captain Cold, OP Captain Cold. So he has an enhancement, and then you just take away his attack. So now you've given your friendly +2 attack and enhancement for a ranged attack. Lex Luthor and Joker duo is probably the best because they're 75 points, and they're just going to sit there and chill. Okay, so I like that. I definitely like that. Scarecrow, no, too expensive. Yeah, so Captain Cold, Pride Support Captain Cold, and Lex Luthor and Joker Duo are the main ones in modern age that you're going to be using. Standard Captain Cold, 100 points. I get to put ice blocks everywhere, and I'm using him as barrier. He's another good option too. So I like that. Flash, the Flash family. This pretty much gives all the speedsters charge. So You just take that as it is. All right. That's it. I'm exhausted. This took way more work than I thought it would. Oh man, I need a nap. I need a nap so bad. All right, that's it. I'm just going to wrap up today's episode. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being with me for over an hour. And remember, we all have to start over sometime.